Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men 60 Years. One of two 3-packs. This is the pack with Storm, Forge, and Jubilee. Shout out to ToySnowman.com. This is where I got my set. They are based in Canada, but shipped to the US. My referral link is in the video description below. Using that link for first-time buyers will get you a 5% off coupon code in your Frost Rewards. So Toy Snowman sells a bunch of Hasbro products, Marvel Legends, Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Power Rangers, all that stuff, Transformers, but they're also really ramping up huge on import figures like Mayfex. They're getting a lot of Joy Toy Warhammer stuff, and really ramping up some of those other toy lines. So make sure to check out ToySnowman.com. Again, my referral link is in the video description below. So here we have this 3-pack. Storm is pretty awesome. Forge is really cool. Did we really need another one? Maybe not. But then when you compare the two, it's like, oh yeah, this one's a lot better. But then it has the same head sculpt. But again, it still is better because it does match the suits nicely. Jubilee, unfortunately, is the weak link in the pack, and I'll talk about that when we get in for a closer look at her. But looking at the package, it's really cool. We see the 3 figures, and then in the background, in that blue, you actually see like the cover art for X-Men 275 with all of them in their blue and yellow suits. So that is really cool. You actually get some artwork there on the side. On the other side, it's just 3D renders of the figures. Same as on the back, you can see all the different accessories that it comes with. So one thing, and I always look at these to see, how accurate are these. So we only see this one like firework effect. It's the magic effect, it's a flame effect, it's whatever effect Hasbro ends up wanting to use it for. It does look kind of cool because it's pink and purple, and with, I guess, a little bit of blue in there too. But it only shows one on the back of the box, but we end up getting 2, so that's kind of nice in that sense, I guess. Oh no, because one's on her hand, never mind. It's all the same. But anyway, that's the box. And then up at the top, we actually get this 60 Years X-Men logo. So that is really cool. We're going to get that box up out of here because we already have the figures in there. So we're just going to go left to right. I think we're going to take a look at Storm first, then we'll take a look at Jubilee, Forge, and then finish off with Jubilee. And we'll just take it one by one. And then we'll see how it looks with a certain other figure that kind of matches the coloring there. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let's take a look at these 3 figures individually. Okay, so here is the Storm figure. She has a new shorter hair here, and it looks pretty good. She has the whited out eyes. Digital face print looks pretty good. Gold lightning bolt earrings there. One thing though, her head is very high on the neck. It seems to be a fairly common thing with female figures, and that sucks because look how high up on there. The neck hinge is all exposed in the back, and you can see just the gap in there. That ball peg should go higher up into the head sculpt. Unfortunately, it does not, and sits pretty high up there. We get this yellow neck collar there. That is a separate piece that kind of can move around. The belt itself is a separate piece as well, but it's tight on it. The only thing is you would have to actually have to separate the figure to be able to get that belt off. We get these new double jointed knees that are pinless, and then double jointed elbows that are pinless with the upper bicep swivel, which is nice because when we have that, the shoulder can actually be a different molded plastic. So while we get blue for the arms, that shoulder piece is yellow, which is great for the hinge. And then the blue is painted on. The reason I bring that up specifically is because on the Jubilee, because it is an older teenage body mold with different arms, there is no upper bicep swivel separating the 2 different plastics. So it is all molded in blue, the hinge is blue, and the yellow is painted on, and the yellow that's painted on looks like shit because the blue really bleeds through and it comes off looking really bad. The same on the gloves. As you can see there, you can see it's really sloppy on her left arm. But yeah, those shoulders are really bad. Should have gotten another coat of paint. I don't know how much that would have been better, or really, how that works out. But it looks really bad when it bleeds through, and it just ends up looking sloppy. Whereas Storm, those shoulders look very clean. So that's one of the reasons why Jubilee is just so disappointing. The Storm figure is really cool. So out of the package, she has these open gesturing hands that come with every female figure ever. We also get an extra set of hands though, so she does come with fists, as you can see here, and then she also has her lightning effect hands that we've seen her come with a couple of other times. This time the lightning is a translucent blue color, and you can see them there. That looks pretty good. I like that. And then you can just swap them around easily, so you just kind of work those arms. I try not to yank so much anymore, but I feel like that was taking forever. So we can get that those hands off, and then we can pop these hands on, and she can have like her lightning effect, as you could see there. But yeah, solid looking Storm figure. Really like the way it came out. The blue and the yellow, it's all painted. We get pretty clean lines, but it looks really nice when we're going to have the whole team together. Okay, so the question of, did we need a new Forge? Maybe not really, but that blue and yellow of the old Forge wouldn't have matched the rest of the team. So that's why I think we get a big update. And then we move away from the Bucky cap, which is nice to no longer have. But there are similarities between these Forge figures. Namely, they have the same head sculpt and the same bandolier. Other than that, it is definitely going to be all new, where we definitely get like these strap pieces that are really a part of the blue and yellow suits. This one does have butterfly joints since it uses the Vulcan base body. Obviously, this leg piece is going to be different, and I gotta double check if it's reused, because one thing that's interesting is we get a little bit of a mixture here. So we have a pinless knee on the bottom, but not the top. That's very, very odd, and we haven't seen that yet, right? We've seen pinless knees, but pinned elbows, or pinned elbows and pinless knees, or did I just say that twice? Whatever, we like pins, no pins, or pins and no pins. We've seen. Now this leg having both, it's kind of odd. So I wonder if the leg itself is actually the same, or if we've seen that leg before, and I don't think that we have, especially if it's going to be new when it comes to Vulcan. So I'm going to take a closer look at these two figures and see if that's the case. Damn, these freaking things keep falling down on Forge. My Forge figure was all weird. The leg was all crazy warped, and I tried to fix it with hot water and stuff, and it still looks all messed up. But the new Forge is a lot better. The digital face print on the head sculpt makes a huge difference. It looks like a new head sculpt when it really isn't. But I'm going to take a closer look at these legs, and then we'll take a closer look at this new Forge figure. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Forge with that digital face print. Again, remember, this is the same head sculpt, but it's crazy the difference the digital face print makes. I think it came out looking a lot better. Now, taking a closer look at this leg, one thing that I really like is the nice silver color as opposed to the bluish hue metallic of the old one. They are not the same leg. So why this has a pin, I don't know. And I honestly don't recall any other figure having this leg. If I'm wrong and I'm just completely forgetting, you guys let me know down in the comments below if you recall another figure that used this leg. Nothing's come into mind for me, so it's just really weird that it has the pin on there. But again, I love the silver, and it is a different sculpt. So looking at it, I think it looks really nice. It has that really, you know, robotic look to it, and it came out nice. There. The blue and yellow paint is pretty clean. I have no issues or anything going on there. They have that same bandolier with the peg hole there, but there's no actual peg hole in the back of the figure. We get those sculpted straps on there, which is nice. Same with those gloves. It's part of the glove. Pinless elbows. We do get the butterfly joint in there, since that is the Vulcan torso. We get the new belt. Yeah, so all looks pretty good. In terms of the deco, it's all pretty plain, but yeah, it came out looking really nice. Looking at Forge's specific accessories, so out of the package, he has the two hands. He has like one open gripping hand kind of thing, and then he has a trigger finger hand for the right. He comes with a pair of fists, so you can swap out and get some punching action going on with Forge. And then he does come with a gun. We've seen this before. I believe this came with the previous Forge. It's also come with like the, what was his name? Frank... Man, I don't remember his name, but he was in Jessica Jones. He was part of the Weapon X program. Frank Simpson? Sam? Oh man, I can't remember. Anyway, so we've seen this gun before, but we do get three different colors on here. We get a little bit of pink added in there, and then we get a little bit of a bronzish gold gunmetal color back here on the back, and then here at the front of the gun there. Sculpted nicely, very futuristic looking. But again, this is, I believe, the same gun that Forge had come with before, so that is not actually new. Okay, my apologies. Forge did not come with this weapon in the previous figure, but this did come with the nuke figure, Frank Simpson, which I think in the Jessica Jones show they changed his name to Will or something because they didn't want, I think, Frank Castle, two different Franks that go around killing people or whatever. But so this gun isn't new, it's just new to Forge. Okay, and here we have Jubilee. The cool thing about Jubilee is the digital face print came out looking really, really nice on this head sculpt, as well as the bubblegum blowing head sculpt, which these two are the same as the previous Jubilee head sculpts that we've seen, so they are not new. They just get the updated digital face print, which actually really goes a long way. The other problem is her head is huge compared to her body. Like, it's just too large, in my opinion. It just doesn't... It doesn't look right because they use the teenage body, so it's a little bit smaller, so that's why. I think the previous Jubilee, her coat kind of hid the fact that the head was quite large, and then I don't like the gap that you see on the back of the neck there. It doesn't sit high on the neck like the Storm figure does, but again, it's just... it looks just a little jarring. But the thing about it is the shoulders are really bad, like I had mentioned in the Storm portion of this. The yellow paint just does not look good over the blue, whether they need more yellow paint or whatever the case may be, but it just bleeds through. The hinge looks really bad. The gloves look really bad. I really would have preferred that they did not do that. So I know people were, I think, pretty upset at this because she doesn't get the double jointed elbows, and I think for the reason for that is because she is on a smaller body. You can see the size difference between the two here. That's quite large. She does get new legs though, so she has the double jointed pinless legs, the knees. She has the well, it looks like maybe the bottom legs are the same. No, the legs are completely different. So they're all new legs compared to the Storm figure. We just don't get new arms, which would have been shorter. So they didn't go the extra mile to give us the new arms where she could have the upper bicep swivel and then the double jointed elbows. For now, we just get single jointed elbows, which sucks. I don't hate it. It would have been better, but I hate the way the paint came out because of that. So if they had the upper bicep swivel, we wouldn't have those terribly painted shoulders. So that is unfortunate. In terms of accessories, she has 2 open hands. She also comes with a pair of fists. I don't know where the other one is at the moment. She also has her super cool pink translucent sunglasses. So we have this one here. You can put on there, and you can have that signature look for Jubilee. We can take that off. We can pop this head off so she comes with a second head. And then we have the bubblegum blowing head sculpt here. So we could pop that on, and that is super tight. Holy moly. Yay. So that is super tight. I don't know if I can get it on any lower. It's a little too high up for that. So she has, she's blowing the bubble gum, and then this one you could put the sunglasses on as well, as you could see there. So that is cool. And then she has these what would be firework effects, which are pretty cool. So you get a little bit of pink, purple, and blue translucent plastic in there coloring. And they came out looking really nice. They're not exactly fireworks, but you know, they work for Jubilee, in my opinion. Go like that. The other one, the circular ones that Dazzler had come with before, those would also work as well. But I'm going to mess with this head more and see if I can get it lower on there, but so far it's not looking good. I'm scared to take it off because I'm scared I'm just going to bust that ball hinge and just pull it right off. And I don't want that to happen. So hopefully it won't have any issues. Okay, so I lowered the head as low as it can go, and that does look a lot better. But again, it was very tight on that ball peg, so be very, very careful. Okay, so we're going to go reverse order for the articulation. So Jubilee can look all the way down. She can look all the way up, like to an insane amount. Full rotation in the head, of course. Not really a whole lot of pivot going on in there. The shoulder you can work in crazy ways, like so. You have a full rotation there. Swivel at the elbow, and she does only have a single joint at the elbow, so you're only going to get 90 degrees there. Interestingly, on the hands, you get a full swivel, but on her left hand, you get the vertical hinge. But on her right hand, you get the standard horizontal hinge. Not sure why each one has the difference, or I don't know if I've ever noticed that before on previous Jubilee figures. You get a swivel at the diaphragm cut. This one is very stiff, so I can't work it to the left all that much. A little bit easier to get to the right. Goes back a little bit, comes forward extremely little. But again, that swivel works nicely there at the diaphragm joint. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward only that far. doesn't really go back. You get an upper thigh cut in there, solid double jointed knee like so. There is no calf swivel or anything on her. Foot hinges all the way down, crazy hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Forged Vulcan body base mold, so he can look down that much. He can't really look up a whole lot because his ponytail hits this back there. You get some pivot, not a whole lot. You can do some rotation on in there. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in that shoulder. And in terms of the butterfly, it goes back a little bit. Coming forward is definitely going to be limited because of the bandolier. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow like so, which is good. Wrist swivel, and it does hinge. On the right hand is the standard horizontal. On the left hand, it is the trigger finger hand, so we do get the vertical hinge there, so that is good. We have an ab crunch on this guy, so he can crunch forward that much, not too shabby. He can go back that much, that's kind of a lot. You get a waist swivel in there. The belt doesn't get in the way too much, kind of works around there. Legs go out that can go that far apart on the splits. He can kick forward that much, fair amount. Does go back ever so slightly. You get an upper thigh cut at the top of those yellow straps. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there. We do have a swivel right under those yellow straps. Foot hinges down that much, hinge up a little bit, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And now on to Storm. So here, Storm, she can look down a little bit. She can look, oh God, I hate this neck hinge and where the head sits on there. She can look all the way down though. She does get some pivot in there, like weird looking pivot, and full rotation in that head, of course. The shoulder you can get to go out that much. You get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel on a female figure. I love it. Double jointed elbow like so, which is fantastic. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, so standard horizontal hinge there on the left and on the right, and on her fist hands as well. Her diaphragm works a little bit better than Jubilee, so she can pivot to her left that much. She can pivot to her right that much. She can go back a little bit. She can come forward a little bit. Still not a lot, but more than Jubilee. You get a swivel at that diaphragm cut that doesn't work as smoothly as Jubilee's, but does get the job done. Legs go out that far apart, which is nice. She can kick forward very high. Goes back ever so slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee, and you gotta love it. Do we get a boot swivel on female figure? No boot swivel though, or calf swivel. Foot hinges down, hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and there we go for their articulation. So now let's go ahead and check out the blue and gold team together. Okay, so here we have the team so far, just waiting on the other 3-pack of Psylocke, Banshee, and Gambit to really complete the look, and it's going to be awesome when we do. I'm excited for it. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these figures? This whole look is part of the X-Men 60th anniversary line, which apparently is not the premium line that happens in the fall. Interestingly enough, we're getting a bunch of X-Men figures now, like Blob has already been revealed as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what that premium line is going to be if it's not the 60th anniversary of X-Men. Just kind of gets me curious of what it could possibly be. We shall see, but I'm loving the way these figures look together. Those other 3, when we get to add them, are going to be awesome. You guys let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this 3-pack of Storm, Forge, and Jubilee? I love it. I can't wait to complete it. And I'm very happy with the 2-pack. The price sucks. It's high as shit, but it is what it is, I guess. If you look at $25 a figure, it should be a $75 pack. I think standard retail is $78 if you order from like Toy Snowman. It's a little bit higher because Canadian prices are a bit higher. So you know, the price of it sucks. It's quote unquote the anniversary premium pricing, which sucks, but I think it is a solid 3-pack. I think, you know, if they were to release these figures individually, people wouldn't buy them as much. So I think if you want to complete that look from the cover of X-Men 275, this is the way to go. Will the price go down ever? I don't know, maybe on eBay or something you might find it lower, but I'm sure you won't find it lower from the websites or anything like that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.